Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmerced.com, and welcome to the first in my video series, The Art of Happiness. For those of you who've been following my videos for a while, I'm probably more well known for making videos regarding economics and libertarian philosophy, and the reason why me and others do such endeavors is because we have a belief that people in a world with more prosperity have a better chance of being happy. And in a world with more liberty, people have also a better chance of being happy. So if you have more resources because you have a more prosperous world and more autonomy, the odds of you finding happiness is higher. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's necessary for you to find happiness. Okay? Because even back in the day of slavery, you had slaves who had no prosperity, no liberty, but sometimes could find happiness. So happiness comes from somewhere else. Happiness comes from that. And instead of focusing in these videos on how to make a world where the odds of happiness are better, so that way you can make the odds better for other people out of, again, being considerate and wanting to do better for others, the idea is to find the tools to find happiness for yourself. What within do you need to find happiness? Now, there isn't any set regiment, any set idea that you need to understand, but some concepts that kind of help you guide you in understanding the difference between unhappiness and being unhappy, the difference between being euphoric and in a moment of despair, and we'll drive all those distinctions throughout this video series. So it's a little bit of a diversion from my usual, but I believe that in order to create a world where others are happy, you need to learn to be happy yourself. And the reason I feel compelled to do this because I'm one of the happiest people I know. Okay, I always try to reflect on why am I so content with my life, even though I'm not the most prosperous person in the world, and I live in a relatively free country, but there could always be more liberty. So what makes me happy? Why? What is the bigger reasons? Not necessarily little things that I like, little things that make me happy, but what's the larger picture of my contentment? And can I derive any larger truths that I can share with everybody who's listening to these videos? Okay, and also can I reflect on what I've seen in other people, in who to me have I met are happy people versus the people who are unhappy, and what are the common threads that I've seen. So again, this is based on my experience and what my experience has taught me about human motivation and human behavior. So it's a very timological method by which I'm deriving the conclusions that I'll come to. If you're not familiar with timology is just sort of an understanding of how people behave based on your own experiences. Okay, so basically, you understand how people value things, etc., because you've experienced the situations or you've seen other experiences, etc. Okay, so this is why happiness is important. Because at the end of the day, we spend all us intellectuals spend our time talking about how to make other people happy. But how about we have an intellectual conversation about making ourselves happy? Because if we can make ourselves happy, we can make others happy. So this is why happiness is important.